everyone. Hope you're having a wonderful week. It's just before tea time on Wednesday, just before I start my evening clinic. So I thought I'd quickly bob on, see how everybody is doing. Hope you've had a fantastic July. In July, I've been doing a little bit of surveying of my patients. Had a few interesting things come up and just wanted to know really why our patients keep coming back to us. We have a massive retention rate, which is fabulous, but it's really helpful to know what it is that we're doing right, and also if there's anything else that we can do better, because we always want to be able to do a bit better. So I've got a little list, and I just thought I'd run through it with you and tell you why it is people seem to like coming here and why they keep on coming back. So first and foremost, because I'm a registered health professional, so I am a nurse, I'm a nurse prescriber, I'm an advanced nurse practitioner, and it's really important with these treatments that you do get checked by a medical professional. The treatments themselves aren't always as straightforward as we make it look, or certainly it looks out on social media and everything like that. It takes a decent amount of skill, but it's not just that. The complications that can arise from these treatments really do need somebody with a medical background to be able to manage them if they crop up, and there is a risk, no matter who treats you, that complications can arise. So it's really important to be aware of that and to make sure whoever is treating you is also capable of managing any complications that may happen as a result of these treatments, knowing what they are and how to handle them. A lot of patients talk to us about our personal service, and I love this because actually I love my patients, and it's when I have some clinics where I'm just seeing people that have been many times before, it's almost like a catch up with friends than a going to work. It's wonderful, and we do get to know people on a bit more of a personal level. It's sort of a therapeutic relationship. We hear all sorts in these walls, and that's absolutely fine because that's where it stays, but it's a real privilege to get to know people on a more personal level, and it's really important to us that we can do that, and that people don't just feel sort of rushed in and rushed out, and that there's nothing sort of in between that makes them feel valued, because they really are valued, and it's really special to us, and it's part of my job satisfaction that I can get to know people and offer them some interaction, some support, and celebrate the wins, and just be there when things are not so good as well. So that's really important to us. And on that note as well, there's no rushing. That's another thing that our patients say. Our appointment times are ridiculously long on purpose. Sometimes people need that, be it if they're going through an emotional time, be it if it feels that the treatment feels particularly sore one day. It can do, particularly with women, time of the month. You can be much more sensitive than when it isn't. Even the weather can make a difference as to if things are painful or not painful. So we need time to allow for that. And if people feel a little bit wowie, it can happen, when you're laying down and then you sit up again. Sometimes people just need a few minutes, and the last thing I would want is people feeling as though they have to rush off when they're not feeling 100% because we've got somebody else due in any second now, and panic. That's not what we do. We allow loads of time for our appointments. When you come here, there is never a hard sell. I'm a nurse, I'm not a saleswoman, and I'm not here to try and sell stuff, really. I'm here to advise and support, give the best information I can, and often people will come and they'll have the consultation and they'll go away with loads of information, and we might share a few emails or phone calls while we answer more questions as things come up, as they read through stuff. And they may book in eventually, or they may not, and that's fine either way. We wouldn't want for anybody to feel pressured into any kind of treatment. It would be completely unethical and totally the wrong thing to do. So there is no hard sell. There is advice, there is support, but there's no way we'd be pushing any treatment on anybody. And even on the day of treatments, if people come and they're feeling a bit wobbly, I've been known to say many times, are you sure you want to go ahead? You can go away, you can think about this some more. There's no need to do this if you're not sure. So, it's really important to us that people feel confident in what they are doing, and we will say no. We'll say no to patients if they're underage, so I will not treat anybody who is under the age of 18, but actually it's very rare for me to treat anybody under the age of 25. The only exceptions being if somebody has a particularly crooked nose or really no lips at all, or something that's sort of very physically distressing for them, and I can make a logical clinical rationale as to why it's better to treat than not to treat in that particular case. But generally speaking, women and men under the age of 25 don't need treatments, and certainly we wouldn't be aiming to push people of that sort of young age into having treatments. Don't necessarily think it's the right thing to do. People who are pregnant absolutely can't have these treatments. There's no studies that would get through ethical approval to say that pregnant ladies could safely have any of the treatments that we offer. So that is an absolute no. We even have pregnancy tests in the clinic, so that if people come and they're just not quite sure, or you ask when their last period was and they say, oh, I think about 6 weeks ago, there's a test there. They can go and do that just to make sure that we're not treating them when we shouldn't be. Mental health issues are a big deal as well. We need to make sure if people are consenting to these treatments that they actually are consenting in a state of mind where they can make that full informed decision, and where they are aware of actually how they look. Some people can sometimes have problems where how they perceive they look and how they actually look are sort of two different things. And if we have any worries about that, then we won't treat, and we'll discuss and we'll bring people back and we'll work through things sometimes, but we won't immediately jump into treatment. Again, it would be the wrong thing to do. And if there's any sort of what I would call patient-practitioner mismatch, anybody who's been to me will know that one of the first things that I say is that the looks that I will not do are fake or big lips or big false cheeks or anything that just doesn't sit right or blend or look sort of balanced with how a face should be. So any sort of fake looks you won't get from here. And that's just part of our ethics and what our business is all about. So that's really important to us. And if people are looking for a little bit more of overdone look, totally respect that. It's just not something that we're comfortable doing. But there are other people out there who can help and support and do a really good job of that kind of thing, and I wouldn't discredit them. It's just not for me. We do follow up our patients. So in the beginning, a few years ago, we used to bring people back religiously after 2 weeks, and they'd come back after the treatment, and it got to the point where people were saying, I've come back, Tracey, but it's great. Why am I here? So since then, what we tend to do is follow up with a text in a week or so after the treatment, and then physically bring people back if they need any sort of adjustment or extra treatment or anything like that. It just is a better use of patient time, of our time, and avoids the frustration of people feeling that they're tied into 2 appointments if actually they don't need to come back for that follow-up. But we keep the dialogue open, and we like to have the messages and make sure that our patients are engaged with what's going on, and they get that follow-up if they need it, and we know that they're happy too. That's really important. Our ethics is something that a lot of patients say brings them to our door. So once we have this conversation, it's more than they maybe find us on Google. They see some of the awards that we've won, or the recommendations that we've got. What awards we did? We were shortlisted for the My Face, My Body. We were a finalist in that award for patient care in the North back in 2016, so that was a while ago, and much more recently we've been voted in the top 3 cosmetic clinics in Hull. That's this year, which is quite a big deal for us really, because it's such a small clinic. We're not a massive med spa. We don't offer all of the electric treatments and things like that a lot of other places do. We specialise in injectables, and yet we've still managed to get that accolade, which is really good for us. But yeah, people find us maybe through Google, maybe through Facebook, however that works. And then when we have the conversation, they often say, love your ethics, and that's why we want to come to you for treatment. I actually have quite a few ladies and gents who have holiday homes on the coast near here. And so what they do is they travel from wherever they live, which is literally all over the country, and they will come for a week or a couple of weeks, and they'll have an appointment with me on their first day. So they've got at least a week for everything to settle down, and make sure, so you know, I can follow them up and make sure that they're happy and there's no complications and everything's all right. And then they'll go back home again looking all refreshed from their holiday, and have a few sneaky treatments in the process. But it's lovely, and it's wonderful that people want to do that. We love what we do. It's great. It gives me a real buzz. In my NHS life, I see people often at their lowest ebb, and that's, you know, it's really important that we can support people at that time in their lives. But this is on a different level, and it's sort of the yin to the yang, and giving people confidence, helping them feel uplifted, happy. Giving them a bit of a buzz. Sometimes they feel a little bit more energetic, just because of what they see when they look in the mirror, that makes them feel that bit better, and that really makes a difference to how we feel as well. So we love that. The other thing that patients say is that it's very obvious that we're constantly investing in education, making sure that totally up to date with the most safest techniques that are out there, the best treatments, and we only use top quality products. We will not compromise on that. It's always been part of the ethos since the very beginning, is that we will only use the absolute top quality fillers, injectables on any level. So there's never any compromise with that. It means it's not the cheapest, but then I wouldn't want it cheap in my face either. So it's really important to us. So we're going to be exploring that a little bit more on our social media posts in the next month or so. But we'd be really grateful to have any of your feedback. Hello, Jennifer. Really grateful to have any feedback at all from anybody, to say what you like about us, what you don't like about us, what it is that we could do better. Does sound exciting, Jenny, thank you. So yeah, just talking all about feedback and why people say that they come here, which is really quite lovely. And I've been keeping a little list of the last month from my patients about why they've been coming to us. So if you watch from the beginning, I won't bore you again, but if you watch from the beginning, you'll be able to see that. Anyhow, I better get ready for my evening clinic. Otherwise I will be in trouble for not being on time, and I'm pathologically early, so I better go and get that sorted out. But have a lovely evening, everybody. Take care, and see you again soon. Take care.